Daddy13 and you're watching the EveryGamer. And today, we're going to be hammering out some achievements in Civilization Revolution. This console-based Civilization game is pretty dumbed down when compared to its PC counterpart, but that doesn't mean that the Deity level, the most difficult level in the game, is easy by any means. I'm going to plow through a game and show you a strategy that'll work 90% of the time, and along the way we're going to pick up a boatload of achievements. So, let's get to it. Before we get into the strategy, here are some of the achievements you'll pick up just by playing the game. All of these achievements you won't really have to work towards, as they'll be a part of every game. I collected these during some previous attempts at Deity when I played as a random civilization. Things can get difficult if you spawn in between the other civilizations with little land for expansion, or if you're in constant combat with other civilizations, allowing one to just beeline it unopposed to victory. There is one achievement, the Will to Win is Everything, which requires that one unit win 20 battles without dying. This is easiest to do with a fleet of either cruisers or battleships, as the computer will literally seek out these fleets with any of their nearby ships, and will rarely throw anything at it that can actually threaten to destroy it. Okay, let's start a new Deity game. The three easiest civilizations to use are the Chinese, Americans, or Japanese. Japanese allow for growth in science by giving food off water squares to start. American give insane production in the late game, and a great person to start. But Chinese is the easiest, giving you an extra population in each city, allowing you to spam expansions while still being competitive in science early. Your starting location will never have any special squares nearby, but your settler can move one square and still settle, so keep that in mind. Try to pick a location with good production and the ability for growth, even if that means sacrificing some, but not all, science squares. Go into your first city and manage the workers manually to maximize production. You'll be producing 2 warriors. Use these warriors to scout and kill barbarians. Note the flags next to the barbarian villages as they mark how many enemies are inside. If you see that there was 2 at the end of your turn, but now there's only 1 to start, that means that the AI attacked it from outside your vision, and you may want to attempt to steal the kill, even if your unit is at 2/3 health. The AI will tend to go for barbarian villages near you before the ones near them. When you kill them, you'll usually get gold, which is good because you're trying to get to 100 gold quickly, which will give you a free settler. If you get a ship, use it to scout, but try to move off the mainland as natural wonders usually spawn on islands. If you get a caravan, definitely use it to scout before catching it in, as its 3 movement makes it ideal for this. If you get a spy, protect it in a city so you can use it later. Once you've got your 2 warriors out, begin pumping out settlers. You can only build a settler with 3 or more population, so if you drop down below that in one of your cities, maximize the food tiles and then switch back to production. You want to grab as much land as possible. Don't worry about building close to your other cities, just find locations that are good for production. If you find an enemy capital, build close to them to use your culture to restrict their movement. But don't build too close, 4 or 5 squares out is good, as the capital itself will produce culture which could absorb your city. This is especially true for French, English, and Arab, give them even further space. You can move your settlers undefended, but always move them manually. Try to move to hills to make sure the path ahead is clear. End turns after only 1 move if you're not sure what's ahead, just to be safe. You don't want to lose a settler or have to pay the AI ransom. Similarly, if the AI has a settler out in the open, always take it, and then the next turn, offer peace. For new cities, focus on production and growth to start. If you're close to 100 gold, put all your workers onto water squares, and then switch to gold production until you get there, then switch back. Once production squares are maximized and you are still growing, use new population to bring in science. Your first technology should be bronze working. This will let you build archers to defend, as well as the barracks, which will increase the effectiveness of your military units. Pottery is also helpful early on if you have cities near the yellow plain squares, as a granary increases their output and can really help growth. After that, try to focus on teching up. I prefer production techs, so I move towards construction, engineering, railroad, communism, industrialization, and nuclear power. If you're first to get these, you'll have a significant edge in production. Irrigation, monarchy, invention, and steam power are also helpful if you can get them first, but even if you can't, you should try to get them quickly. Note that the Mongols get communism free, English get monarchy free, and Egyptians get irrigation free. Depending on the stage of the game, you may want to use your great people differently. Always use great builders to complete wonders. If the AI has built a city not too close to their capital, you may want to use a great artist to take it. If not, settle them in a high culture output city or on a border city to prevent it from being absorbed. Use great scientists to get advanced techs only if you fear you're not going to be the first to get it. Otherwise, settle them for continued increased output. Take the money from great explorers early on to get to 100. Otherwise, just settle them. Settle or hold on to great humanitarians until you have a large number of cities to maximize their power to increase all cities' population by 1. Finally, always settle great leaders in cities with high production, or cities you've designated as unit producing. Your focus early should still be expansion. The AI won't like this though and will declare war, so if you have cities close to them, you should focus on their defense. You can form a makeshift defense while at peace with the AI to keep units away by shifting your working squares so that the culture blocks any of their nearby movements. If the AI gets an attacking unit close to an undefended city, it will declare war to take it. Be careful especially with the Zulu, as their warriors can move 2 tiles. Form 2 armies of archers to defend each city. If a land choke is nearby, consider moving armies into these squares to hold off the enemy before they even get close to your cities. Always use 2 armies, as the AI will pile up their armies and attack in waves, and on Deity, units have a tendency to be reduced to 1/3 health after every fight. If you have hills next to your city, consider placing defensive units on them simply to prevent the AI from utilizing its combat advantage. Build walls and border cities if you start seeing knights. Your focus for the production of each city should be defense first, then culture, then science, then money. Feel free to spend your money to rush buildings or units. It's not going to impact your economic victory later on. Just a side note, never build the aqueduct. You'll get it for free in all your cities later. The AI can and will cheat. They will offload troops from their ships and can do so indefinitely, so take them out as soon as possible. Have a fleet of cruisers to control the seas, as these units have a great movement range and will overpower everything the AI will throw at you until they get battleships. Also, if there is a square that is covered by the fog of war, AI troops can appear there, so try to have vision over all of your mainland. Don't worry about fighting back. You won't have anything powerful enough to take cities. And even if you do, the AI will have them well fortified, and will likely upgrade to better units before you're able to punch through. You'll attack late game, don't worry. If you do attack, note that even though the AI only had a single unit defending last turn, it doesn't mean that they won't have an army there next turn. You may lose a city, and you may lose a battle that you thought was impossible to lose. Don't rage quit. Persevere and carry on. If you're about to lose a key city, consider giving in to the AI's demands in order to buy some turns to build up your defenses. A note about natural wonders: if the AI sees them, they get them. So you typically want to land a unit and grab them as soon as possible. However, you may want to delay on getting the Ark of the Covenant until you have more cities, or have built temples, as this gives all your cities the next culture building. Consider buying some temples in order to get a free cathedral and watch your culture grow. Also note that the AI will tend to stick to the shoreline, even with units that can go into the ocean. This means that they are unlikely to get the lost city of Atlantis. It doesn't mean they won't, but in my experience it's usually safe to leave it until the mid-game. You'll want to integrate wonders into your production. They take time, so try to utilize cities who aren't likely to be engaged to take up these projects. The more wonders you can get, the easier the culture victory later on will be, as well as being able to take advantage of their benefits. Key wonders are the East India Trading Company, which will greatly increase science, and Leonardo's Workshop, which will upgrade all your units. The AI will try to get Leonardo's Workshop early, which isn't a big deal because they don't normally take advantage of it. But if you can get it, and have democracy and gunpowder, all your defensive archers will become riflemen, and you'll have no problems on defense until the end game. As you approach the late game, you'll likely be at war with the AI. If not, declare war. This is because when the AI is at war, it focuses on unit production, and not on wonders or the space race. They still will produce spaceship parts, but just not as quickly. Once you're in a position to win, save the game. You can reload from this point later on, and get the other victory types. Usually, if you're in a position to win one way, you can win the others easily too. This may seem cheap, but it's the easiest way to get these achievements. If you want to get them legit, by all means, I'm just trying to help you do it quicker. For tech, once you're able to produce spaceship parts, produce one of each. Rush them with gold if you have to. If you launch first, all you have to do is wait and make sure that your capital is safe, and you'll win. For economic, you need to amass 20,000 gold. Switch all your cities to gold production, and maximize the amount of tiles you're working. It won't take long. Once you unlock the World Bank, take one of your cities that has the most production stored up, and switch to the World Bank. As you've seen, I switched off the Manhattan project, and it was finished in one turn. For culture, utilize the same strategy. Use the money to rush out wonders, buildings, and units, and then capture cities with great people, or use spies to take them. If you capture a capital, or a city with a great artist, which is nearby other cities, you can boost that city's culture output, and then absorb the nearby ones without even firing a shot. This can create a nice chain effect, and each city you absorb counts towards the 20 great people, wonders, or culture-absorbed cities that you'll need to build the United Nations. Once you unlock it, build it. You should probably start with world domination, and then just save once you only have one capital left to take, as that will make things go very easy. But I didn't do that apparently. Go straight for the capitals when you're going for a world domination victory. When you attack, try to have a fleet of battleships for the bombardment bonus if the city is on a coast. Attack with bomber wings and artillery armies, on the hills if you can, but make sure to have some modern infantry armies ready to occupy and defend the city, as well as defend your attacking units. Usually it's only one of the AI that will give you problems. If they look threatening, have launched their spaceship, or you just want an easy capital capture, launch a nuke on their city. Make sure you're not within 2 tiles of the city though. Have the troops nearby or on a ship to offload, and then immediately take the city. That's it! 29 of 50 achievements in a couple hours. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to post, and I'll try to get back to you. But that's it for me. I'm out. See you online.